Hello, friends. It's
Hey,
another episode.
whoa, hey.
Woo, Aaron. Okay, Aaron. Hi. Hello. Welcome back to the Mindful CEO. We are your two crazy hosts.
Crazy. We are getting crazy. We are
Could we
just
be? We are
fucking
your two intuitive gurus.
gurus, baby. We are so. I was smoking it. I was smoking a cigar this weekend, and someone was saying that they didn't like it.
Oh.
Not uncommon. I smoke a cigar. Often, I smoke a cigar, particularly so that people stay away from me. It's a
That sounds
great
like you. Yeah.
it is a great social management tool.
That's
I can
hilarious.
just sit, hey, I came to your party. No one wanted to talk to me, but it's, and then you get to throw out oh, I didn't realize this wasn't a safe space for plant medicine. I'm so sorry.
Right, right. Yeah.
This is my plant medicine. It's one of the original plant medicines. If I told you it was mapacho, you would be like, oh, the
Oh,
Amazon,
yeah.
but yeah, smoking a
That's
cigar
hilarious.
is crude, but you know, you don't appreciate plant medicine. I got it. I'm sorry.
I'm offended that you're offended.
I get it. I did not
It's
realize
so
that
funny.
you were, you know, so weirded out by people using plant medicine in your space, and I will honor that.
Uh,
I'll take my plant medicine elsewhere. Yeah, if you keep hammering them with plant medicine, they tend to back the fuck off. But
I noted, taking
yeah,
notes.
yeah, yeah. The other this is absolutely well. Never mind.
Aaron's Guide to Social Management.
I'll tell you. When it's really peoply out,
Yeah,
you
it's very
know,
peoply outside. What's
if
the
it's too
forecast? Very
peoply
peoply.
out, yeah, a cigar will
Bring your
trim
humidor. Bring your
that right
traveling
down.
humidor.
Trim it right down.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, it's really good. And then the only people that will talk to you are people worth talking to because they can hang with a cigar. So I'm down.
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
um, what were we talking about? Oh, what we wanted to talk about before I got myself sidetracked down a stupid conversation. Excuse me, someone on the team this morning was asking about call reluctance,
Yeah.
you know, which is a really big deal in sales. It's a really big deal. Call reluctance is one of the most common obstacles in performance that certainly real estate agents or anyone in outbound sales, outbound phoning
Yeah,
has
yeah.
is that space of I don't feel like there's nothing to it. It's not like calling people is breaking rocks in the hot sun, right? It's not. It's sales isn't hard work in that way, but it's peoply out. It's
Mm,
you
nice
interacting with
segue. Yeah.
people. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you like
good
that? Yeah,
connection. Good
boom.
connection.
I can do that.
Yeah. Good connection.
Yeah, I had that planned out. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been thinking about that for a month.
Yeah.
Um, but you do have to. You gotta sort your way through. You gotta get yourself and into talking to people, and then there's the whole world of rejection that we
Mm,
all deal with in sales. That you know the best of us
right.
you know are baseballs. If you hit the ball 3 times out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. If you hit the ball 2 times out of 10, you're unemployed. It's
Right.
that kind of a
Mm,
game, and
mm.
sales is in that world. So finding a way to hold phoning people and call reluctance is a big deal for people. So I think it was a really, I love the question I love that it came up, because you can't really do anything about it till someone asks the question.
Yeah.
You can't go where you're not invited. So,
Right.
we're vampires, apparently. Um, yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any difference until you get asked the question. And so, and I think the answer was, I'm happy with my answer. Um, that the first space to deal with is that you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your preparation. And I
Yeah.
think
I like
that's
that.
a really, it's far more profound of a statement than people deal with. Because I think in the background of most of our functioning, there's this idea that I'm going to get psyched up
Yeah.
for today's work.
Right, right,
Right,
right.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Very hustle culture, very hustle
yeah, I'm gonna,
culture.
yeah, today's the day I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? Or the entire idea of clutch performers is
Right.
mythologized. Mythologized?
I think that sounds right.
Fine. Mythologized in our culture, the Michael Jordans, the Steph Currys, the
Yeah,
Kobe Bryant's, right? Let's just use basketball. But
sure. Yeah.
anyone, Tom Brady, it doesn't matter. Clutch, the idea of clutch is rising to the occasion, but that's
Mm,
not the way that shit works. That's not in reality how that worked at all. You don't see Steph Curry showing up at the gym eight
right.
hours before and staying 4 hours after and just shooting threes.
Yeah.
You only see him rising to the occasion, but that's not what's happening.
Right.
That's actually not what's happening. He's sinking to the level of his preparation. He's just prepared more. So he looks like he's clutch, but he's prepared to be clutch.
Yeah. It's really interesting to me. There's like things in that I hear. One is it's not like Steph when he hits a three at a buzzer isn't excited about it. Like, like that being clutch in that moment was exciting for him. It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of our conversation last week about breakthroughs. Like, oh man, when was the last time I hit a three at the buzzer beater and got really excited versus, oh, we just blew the team out and it was really boring. Um, so there's something in it for him, but it's not like he's living on every clutch moment. He's living on his level of preparation. The second thing I hear in it though is like how we, like you said, mythologize, like what happens over here, watching it over there. Like we
Right.
romanticize performance so much. We're like, oh, if I were doing it right, it would look like that, and I'd be hitting buzzer beaters all the time, and call reluctance wouldn't be a thing, and I'd be top of the industry. And we just romanticize what we think success or performance looks like.
Yeah. We romanticize it in the least. I mean, that's the thing about romance, right?
Yeah,
Romance
right.
requires no hard work. That's what's romantic about it. I mean, but because it's just you show up and then there's dinner waiting for you, or the flowers, right? Like
No,
romance.
no.
But anyone who's ever planned a romantic dinner knows that work, that shit
Yeah.
did not just show up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It took work to set up the conditions in which that romance happened,
Right.
right? And a constant attending to where marriages go to die is when the romance dies, is people stop putting that energy in. That romance isn't automatic in any way, shape, or form. If you don't keep tending to it,
Yeah.
it dies.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. And so that was the first space that when she was asking me about call reluctance was, if you haven't tended to your mental space, you're going to have a hard time, because you're
Mm,
going to sink to the level of your mental preparation. You're going to sink to whatever you've prepared for. And you wouldn't be surprised if I told you, if we were going out on a 1 mile run,
uh-huh.
and you are not running regularly, you
Yeah.
would not be surprised to not be able to keep up with
Mm,
someone who runs regularly.
yeah.
You just
Yeah.
wouldn't
That's
be
good.
like, I can't believe it. I can't believe
Yeah.
they're fucking prepared. They run
That's good.
regularly.
That's good. Yeah.
They have that capacity. Same thing with lifting weights. I mean, if you were gonna, get into a,
Mm,
you know, whatever,
yeah.
bench
Yeah.
press,
Yeah.
deadlift,
Yeah.
whatever you were
Right.
gonna do, you wouldn't be surprised if someone who regularly worked out lift more weights than you wouldn't be like, I can't believe that person's that. No, they fucking are prepared. They do that work. They prepared
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same way with calling. If you don't prepare your mentality, mentalitude.
I don't know. You have the best
Yeah,
combinations.
I think it's mentalitude. If your mentalitude is off in any way, I
Yeah.
prepared my vocabulary-ness.
Yeah.
Um,
What's that site? Word Hippo? Like Aaron's a guest columnist for Word Hippo.
Oh,
where
I
they
didn't
have a
know the
bunch of
word
slang.
hippo was
It's
a
a bunch
thing.
of
I don't know what
words,
that
you know.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
It's
fine.
like a thesaurus, but with like street words.
Okay, good. All right, excellent. Yes, I'm a guest columnist. Um, but there's that space of okay, this is my level of preparation and getting responsible for that. And I say it in the context of meditating 10 minutes a day.
That's
The
good.
way you get your mental preparation right is you meditate for 10 minutes a day, at least. More is better, but 10 minutes is sort of like is fine. It's 10 minutes is more than is enough.
Yeah.
It's not more
Right.
than enough, but it's enough. Um, to develop the kind of mental capacity. And you're developing, and what people don't realize, and this is a branding issue with meditation, as far as I can tell, is that thing about running or lifting weights, not a mystery to people, not like, oh, I can't believe you work out and you're more fit than me.
Hmm.
Okay, but you don't look at meditation like, okay, well, I haven't meditated ever
Ever.
or in years, or I don't do it every day. And I'm surprised that my mental capacity is lower than yours. I mean, what the fuck? You
Yeah.
haven't done the
Yeah.
work. You meditate 10 minutes a day
Yeah.
and you don't
Yeah.
run,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you run 3 times a week. And it's hardly like you run and then you
Yeah.
expect to feel better every time you run. You just run to run, and you'll feel worse if you don't run.
It's a good segue to if you think about the romanticizing intuition, romanticizing breakthroughs,
Mm,
romanticizing insights. We we look over there like, oh, that person, had whatever. We don't look at the level of their preparation for the amount of times they've meditated
right.
or thinned the veil or um, tapped into it, unkinked the hose for intuition. We just look at they whatever it is that is attractive about it, we just think, oh, I want that. But then when it comes to like, oh, but I don't want to do 10 minutes a day or I don't want to do whatever, then the shine sort
Everyone
of
wants to
wears
go to
off.
heaven. No one wants to die. I mean, that's there's nothing more human than
Right.
that. Everyone wants to play in the Super Bowl. No one wants to practice. Okay,
Right.
well, that's what there is to be with. So, we talked
Right.
about that
Yeah.
together as the opportunity of, look, that's why I meditate 10 minutes a day. It's 10 fucking minutes. You sit
Yeah. It's
and you
good.
practice and you do that so that you are mentally prepared, and you're literally, and I don't mean it figuratively, literally growing your prefrontal cortex,
Mm,
enlarging the rational, sympathetic, parasympathetic part of your brain where you are able to
mm,
deal with emotional ups and downs with more stability, more calmness,
right.
increasing your
Right.
ability to intuit.
Yeah.
And you're thinning your amygdala, your fight or flight or freeze mechanism. Your lizard brain is getting smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're getting more rational, more calm, less reactive, less frantic. 10 minutes a day, just
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the same way that
Yep.
lifting weights will build muscle, same way cardio builds endurance, same way yoga builds flexibility, meditation builds your mental capacity. In the same way, it's not even
Yeah.
a metaphor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even a fucking metaphor. Do you understand? It's not like it's like that. It is that.
Hmm.
You are physically changing the brain.
Yeah. I was really impressed last week when I think is it Greg in our mastermind
Uh-huh.
had said he'd been doing the daily meditations with you for a year. That he showed. I was thinking of it because as you were sharing, I was like, sometimes it's okay to put. We think we have to do all this like by ourselves. I will meditate, but you can put conditions around yourself that make it easier for
Totally.
preparation. Like if you have a hard time doing your own meditation, get a guided one. Use Insight Timer. Aaron's got some meditations on there, or what you do a daily meditation every morning, Aaron, on Facebook. Like, is it on your personal profile? Where do you do
Yeah.
that?
My personal profile. It's also on our YouTube channel, Mindful CEO Podcast YouTube channel.
Yeah,
It's on
perfect.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
all at the
So
same time.
I feel like if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, well, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. I mean, just scaffold that thing, put some training wheels on it, and show up to where other people are already doing. I think it's one of the benefits of the community, the mastermind we've got
Totally.
is we're in a practice of showing up every week to have mindful conversations that we otherwise wouldn't have. Like it's simply preparation.
It's good, Chris. And the thing that I'm amazed at is the the number of times that, well, it's not really the number of times, but people generally try meditation on their own. It's really rare that the first place they go is to a teacher, in my experience.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And that's fine, except the opportunity is as different as, it's like going to the gym without getting a trainer, or doing
Right,
yoga
right.
off YouTube versus going to a class on yoga. Those are
Yeah,
just different
yeah,
phenomena. Until you get trained in proper form, it's a little weird to expect that you're going to get the proper results. So
yeah,
most people, I think, try meditation for a week or a month on their own, and then they fade out because they didn't get proper support, training, or education about it
mm,
in the beginning, like training wheels, guidelines like that, which is why I think the meditation classes I teach are so useful for people, because 9 weeks is enough of a runway
yeah,
that you'll have seen the results. You'll have enough wherewithal on your own that you can then continue that practice in directions that make a difference for you. But
yeah.
it's like brushing your teeth. You're going to do it every day for the rest of your life. You're not going to get to the point where it's not,
Right.
necessary.
Yeah, right.
You're just never going to get to the point where meditation is not necessary any more than you are going to get to the point where brushing your teeth is not necessary.
Love that.
Um, so we talked about all that. We got all that clear, and that was all useful for people. Um, and I think a good reminder. And then, I think if you're watching and you really just want something specific about call reluctance itself,
Yeah,
practice. So now which this will make whatever difference it makes, but ex, exponentially less difference if you're not practicing some sort of meditation every day,
yeah.
just because you don't have the guns.
The guns.
You
Yeah.
don't have the guns to do it. But the practice is, before you pick up the phone, take 3 mindful breaths. Just activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So even 4-second box breathing, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, 4 second hold, 4 second in, like that. Do that 3 times or 4 times, and it's a minute. And now you're just grounded, you're
Mm-hmm.
present. And then you can just ask the question with curiosity.
Mm,
What's the difference what is the person I'm calling dealing with? What's the
mm,
difference I could be interested in making? How can I help them? Some leading question for you, something that's connected to what you're committed to in phoning anyway, as opposed to what's there by default, which invariably is, I don't want to fucking get yelled at.
right.
I don't want this person to be mad at me. They don't need this. This is an interruption. What are all the bullshit conversations that we have? Which, I mean, they're probably not even inaccurate given the level of preparation most people do to make those calls. Is,
Yeah,
there's no real intention in that call other than to, you know, get through and check a box that says you made the dial.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
versus actually someone there on the other end of the phone that gives a shit.
Right. Wow.
Um, and you'll probably get through less dials. I'll give you
I
that.
would imagine you've done this. I mean, you were, um, you've made so many, I don't know how many millions of dials in your,
Millions of fucking
I mean,
dials.
but you think about somewhere in the level of preparation, somewhere I'm guessing the context shifts from, oh, I'm dribbling the ball, I'm practicing to something else. Like I make, like it shifts from I'm making calls and I don't want to bother anybody, but you do it enough and all of a sudden you realize like, oh, I recognize this. I like talking to, I'm a person who calls humanity to check in on them. But that's a different context than I'm calling to try to get something accomplished. You're like, I'm
Yeah,
the person who calls humanity to check in on them. And if there's an opening for something else, then I'll
totally.
go down that road. But
Yeah, you
totally
got to be
different
calling to
context.
fulfill on what matters to you,
Yeah.
not to
Right.
check a box,
Right.
not to
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah.
But each of us, and the grounded agent, let's make a name up for it.
Can we
But
brand it? Can we give it a logo?
we can totally
The grounded agent. Yeah.
the grounded agent. But even the salesperson that gives a shit, the real, the
Uh-huh.
hero isn't selling to get the sale. They're selling, it's servant selling, right? I mean
Uh-huh.
that's not, I didn't make that up. That's,
Yeah.
you
Sure.
know, servant salespeople are the best salespeople always. The people that
Hmm.
are there to be of service to whatever
Right.
they need. And for that, again, preparation. Well, what's your preparation? Well, have you practiced being curious? Have you practiced beginner's mind? Have you practiced giving up what you already know? Have you practiced being interested?
Yeah.
And those are practices. And you can do that. You can
Yeah. Yeah.
practice being all those ways. And
Yeah.
in fact, if you don't practice being all those ways, you're not going to be any of those ways. And this is a great segue from left brain to right brain, from
Hmm.
narrator to from
Rider.
rider to elephant.
The elephant. Yeah.
Yeah, the rider already knows. The rider thinks it already knows. The rider is, the we should go back and distinguish the metaphor before we get too far down the road. um
Why are they talking about elephants? I don't
what's
understand.
that? Yeah, what's he
Why are
talking
they
about?
talking about elephants?
What the fuck's that about? um
Where did it was in a book years ago,
yeah,
really popular book years ago, and I can't remember what it was.
yeah,
The
is it
Malcolm
like,
Gladwell book? I feel like it's like a Malcolm Gladwell book or
it may be
something.
Melvin, Dan Harris,
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
Harris
Yeah.
brothers, like, Make It
Mhm.
Stick, some
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
something like that. Anyway, so the mind is like an elephant with a rider. The rational brain, the left brain, is the driver, is the rider sitting on top of the unconscious brain, the elephant. And in
Uh-huh.
reality, the elephant moves everything, right? And the
Right.
driver tells the elephant where to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the rider is definitely this, isn't the person getting anything done, but the rider thinks it's in charge.
Right.
The
Yeah.
rider
Yeah. Yeah.
thinks it's the most
Yeah.
important thing. And
Uh-huh.
the elephant is just, is it, you got to figure out how to train that elephant, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the elephant is, which is interesting. Where did I hear this? This is a good metaphor. Oh, this is at my Goenka retreat. This is just at my 10-day meditation. It was an elephant metaphor. Look at that.
Hmm.
If you can imagine a wild elephant in the middle of a town. This is, Goenka's from India and from, uh, I want to say Bali, but it's not. Anyway, an elephant in the middle of a town there does a lot of damage. A
Yeah.
wild elephant in the middle of town does a lot of damage. But if you train that elephant, then that elephant can, do amazing things for you.
Hmm.
Pull logs, build house, get materials for houses, water. I mean, a trained elephant is massively useful in those contexts.
Hmm.
And that's the metaphor that he's using to distinguish meditation. I've been using puppies in a box.
Uh-huh.
He's using elephants. Um, Either way, but that is what meditation is for: is to train that elephant to be, your person, and it would be your access to life. And in the same way, in this is coming from, although I don't think he uses it in the book. The book is No Self, No Problem: How
All right.
Neuropsychology is Finally Catching Up to Buddhism. Um, the right brain, the intuitive part of the brain, the part of the brain that sees the big picture, of life at all times
Yeah.
is has been labeled the unconscious by the left brain, the narrator, that
All
would
right.
rather be wrong than uncertain. The left brain detests uncertainty,
Mm.
and the right brain thinks in metaphor, thinks in um, big picture. The left brain thinks in specifics,
Yeah.
compartmentalizes
Yeah.
good, bad, right, wrong, uh,
Yeah. I laughed when you
judgment.
shared that with me earlier because I just think it's so funny that how the left brain created its own org chart. Like I'm the writer, the
Totally.
elephant is not as important, but it's going to do stuff, but I'm still in control. Like the whole language of it, like you said, language is from the left brain. You said like there's a whole
Completely.
like let's classify this. Let's create an org chart for like the left brain is the writer. Like it's just like
It
esteems
is.
itself.
It's
Esteems itself. Yeah.
completely, that's right. It has completely built up its importance, its,
Uh-huh.
its
That's so
significance
funny. That's so funny.
in the scheme of things, and it is the most important piece in the world. And if it dies, if
According
it's
to
afraid
it.
that the ego dies, you die.
Yeah. Right, right,
That would be
right.
ego death. Would is the loss of
Interesting. Yeah.
is the diminishment of the left brain's importance in the world. The left brain is part of you that identifies you as you.
Right. It's almost like I feel like the left brain has a problem with the right brain because or with the right because it doesn't want to be don't control me. But it's almost like the right doesn't care.
Right
Like
doesn't
the
care.
creative brain is breathing whether you tell it to breathe or not. It's doing what it's doing and it's having a party like, yeah, okay, man, we're flowing. We're flowing.
We're doing it. You can either come with me
Yeah.
or not. So it really does not give a fuck. The right brain does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that, which is really good, how little the right brain gives a fuck. Um,
Yeah.
because that's so the right brain is the space of intuitive thought, is the
Mm,
space that tunes into the parasympathetic nervous system, and
yeah.
your gut reaction.
Mm,
When you walk
hmm.
into a room and there's tension, that's your right brain telling you that. The left brain has no clues about it except you feel it. Um, and so the right brain is doing that interpretation, and
Hmm.
there's an enormous amount of value in amplifying, tuning up the significance of your ability to intuit life, right? I mean, we've been talking extensively about that, and that's really where we
Yeah.
want the mastermind to go next, is
Yeah.
those advantages of, did you forget your keys? Like, oh, I'm just going
Right.
to honor my intuition and keep bringing it up, because it can see things.
Mm,
It's seeing things that it's not telling the left brain it sees.
right.
So it shows up like magic because it didn't tell the left brain it saw anything. So the left brain didn't tell you that there was something there,
Yeah.
but there was something there, and your right brain knew it,
Yes.
right? Because that's the thinning of the veil. At the same time, it doesn't give a fuck, because it will do shit like, this is a good, I'm going to make this example. I'm going to maybe butcher this example, but it's a really good example of cognitive bias, and all the
Uh,
cognitive biases,
uh,
from recency bias to um, confirmation bias to
right.
availability bias to Stunning Kruger, all the biases, the cognitive biases, are a function of going with the gut.
Mm,
And the gut's not always right, but the gut doesn't give a fuck.
mm,
So the gut does care about your existence. The gut does care about keeping itself alive.
yeah.
If the bushes rustle, if the
Right.
bushes move, there's a tiger, jump.
Right.
It has you jump instantly. So that's all intuition, whether it was right or wrong.
Mm,
So your intuition is not always right. The example was, picture a guy named Harry or Harold, whatever, and he wears glasses. He weighs about 95 pounds. He likes poetry. He drinks Earl Grey tea, and he lives alone. Is Harold more likely to be an English professor at an Ivy League school or a truck driver?
English professor.
Yeah, and the gut would tell you English professor.
Right, right.
That's where all your biases, all
Uh-huh.
your characterizations, your prejudices, those all live
Uh-huh.
in gut reaction. But if you really think about it for like half a minute, how many Ivy League schools are there?
I don't know.
I don't know, whatever. And how many English professors are there at those Ivy League schools? And how many of those English professors are male? Just even that number versus how many truck drivers are there in the world?
Right. Ton.
Uh,
Way more than English professors. Yeah.
Exponentially more. There's so little chance he's an English professor compared to being a truck driver. If those are the two choices, there's just
Right.
no statistically you would lose that bet.
That's so funny.
95 times out of 100 you would lose that bet.
Yeah, yeah.
But the gut is, full of biases. The gut is full of guesses, right? And it does it with math, what's the baseball bat ball thing, right? If you I forgot what it is. I'm not going to get into it, but your gut is very often wrong. In a lot of different ways. So the romanticization.
Romanticization. Romantic. Wow. I got stuck on it too. Romanticization.
Okay. Of the intuition is also something to be careful about. That it's, that the Buddhists would look for the middle way, not leaning on one or the other. That there is this is not to say that the left brain language, rational thinking, is wrong and we should only lean on our right brain.
Yeah, I mean it's binary thinking. It's like,
That's
oh,
right.
you know, uh acrylic paint is the only paint. No,
Right.
no, watercolor is the only paint. No, no, acrylics. No, what I mean, you can use both
Depends what you're
brains.
doing.
You can use all the things to have a richer experience, a
You
more
need to use
texture.
all the things. You need
Yeah.
to you use the whole being and you
Yeah.
honor the whole being.
And we could just say that in our at least in our Western culture, in a mindful CEO space, in a CEO space, I think we've used the left brain as a crutch. It's become a crutch to produce what we want to
That's
produce
right. It's
rather than
become
having
the
access.
answer. That's
Yeah,
right.
right.
That's right. It's the right way to do things. It's the answer. It's,
Yeah,
we over
right,
uh, uh,
right, right.
emphasize the left brain compared to the right brain. But then we swing the pendulum too far and you meet people, and then
Yeah,
you
right.
do things,
Strung out on their plant medicine. Like, I'm only going to do plant medicine, man. With at parties, I only do plant medicine, man.
but you give up you give up any kind of rational pathway to
Right.
having something make a difference. Um,
Yeah. Right. Right.
so it's optimizing
Yeah. Yep.
for
Yep.
the appropriate space, right? And having
Yeah.
neither drive, neither one is more important than the other. That if you
Yeah.
slow down, you can hear the difference
That's right. That's right.
between the two.
That's right.
You can hear when one is appropriate and one is needed. You'll be informed
Yeah.
rather than driven.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
nice. You didn't even use ChatGPT for that one.
I didn't even use chat.
Oh, did that
Well, look
just
at the
zoom in on your
zooming. Look at
face?
this. I got
Dude, that
zooming
zoomed in on your
happening on my
face.
computer.
That was fantastic.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. I loved that motion effect.
I did too.
You said in the green room before we started, like, you don't develop intuition, you get quiet enough to hear it. And I feel like in this conversation, like, we've got to a spot in the conversation where it's like, um, we are, at least in CEO land, we lean heavily on left brain stuff.
Yes.
And we're not often quiet enough to hear the intuition. We're trying to control outcomes versus intuit versus lean into something that happens when we slow down. And I think that's an important thing to play with.
Right.
Slowing down, unkinking the hose, thinning the veil, tapping into that thing that the right brain's it's already picking up signals. And it's not like it's always right, like we talked about, but it does have important input that we often just don't hear because we're going too fast and trying to ram things through. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think
I'm not saying this from having mastered it, by the way. I think I'm in a space of like really open to and wanting to have more colors on my palette, more options for how to create than maybe the limited palette I've been using for 20 years.
yeah, or having to use one because you don't have access to the other. I think that's the thing I'd like to
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
most have a breakthrough in, is that you only have one. You can
Right.
only, you can only go right. What if
Mm.
the whole
Ah,
world were open for you?
you can only dribble right.
Right.
Is
I
that what
mean,
you're saying?
that's,
You can only
yeah,
dribble right.
yeah.
Hey, just guard him on the right because that's his only move, man. He can
I
only
mean,
dribble
that's,
right.
it's not, that's, I'm not making that up. That's the thing.
That's great. Yeah,
Um,
no, I get it.
and then there's this opportunity to discover for yourself what it's like when the whole world is open up for you and you're moving at a pace that's, you know,
Hmm.
makes the whole thing available. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and that's that tension between mindful and CEO that we're going for.
right.
It's good. Yeah, I think we can put a pin in it there.
Yeah, invitation for everybody too. Just and I think we've said this before, but like, every time like I always feel like when you and I, Aaron, are having green room conversations or even in these podcast episodes, I'm always looking for where it overlaps in my life. Like, where is this call me up or where does it call me out? Like, where is this speaking to me? And I think that's a good invitation for those of you listening. Like, and I'm sure you do that. I'm sure that you who listen are listening for like, it's not just an interesting conversation. There's something available for you. And maybe you'd have to slow down, quiet down so that your intuition could help you connect the dots of what is here for you. This isn't just a Christian Aaron show, right? This is like actually there's good stuff in here. But if you like the stuff that you're hearing, feel free to leave us a review on the podcast directories you listen to, or hit like and subscribe on YouTube if you're doing it from there. If you guys want to check out the next cohort coming up, I think it's September, Aaron, for having
Yeah,
living a
September
grateful life in a
3rd
fucked up
for
world, right?
yeah, September 3rd for living a grateful life in a fucked up world and living a grateful life in a fucked up industry.
Mm.
If you're in real estate, just for you, two different versions, the Realtor's
Mm-hmm.
Edge or thegratefulbreath.com.
I'll put
Both
those in the show notes.
free.
Yeah, it's free. I love that. It's free. It's 9 weeks. It's free. It's really that opportunity to really practice. We sink to the level of preparation. It's a chance to start developing a practice for yourself that
Completely.
allows
And
you to
now,
thin that
yeah.
veil.
If you want to learn how to meditate in 2025, this is your last chance with me.
Yeah.
Um, cool. All right,
All
man.
right.
Next
Rock
week.
and roll. Thanks, everybody.
Namaste,
See ya.
motherfuckers.